What's up, y'all? First video ever for YouTube. Wild, right? New beginnings, new stuff. If you don't know me, my name is Carson Hopkins. And today, I want to start it off first. Carson's Corner. We're not even in a corner, but that's alright, you know. You don't have to be in a corner always. First, Carson's Corner. I want to talk about open-mindedness and listening. Because in this day and age, we're so divided as a country, we tend not to really listen to each other. We tend to block out the other side. You feel? Whether you're Democrat, Republican, a lot of us, it's just talk, it's no listen. We don't take the opportunity to just sort of, take in what the other side is saying. Instead, we tend to, we tend to lock out. We tend to lock our brains and sort of say no, If you're against gun control, it's like, no, I can't. Absolutely not. I'm not going to listen. On the right, you hear, with gun control, it's like they want to take away all our guns, no matter what is said, because that's not exactly what's going on. And it causes, poor communication when we're not listening to each other and we're not, taking in what the other side is fully saying. And that is, due to fear, and I feel, due to just, frustration. Why don't you understand my side? How can you believe this? And I think it's a pretty big problem. As a high schooler myself, I'm almost 18 years old, I feel like it's a huge problem. We tend, on social media, I see a lot, we're not listening to each other. It's just a lot of yelling. It's a lot of yelling, blah, 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 and less listening. I say fight for what you believe in, but also take time to, understand, what is the other side saying, and do they have a point, sometimes, I feel like I've learned, really taking the time to listen to someone who I disagree with, it helps me learn so much more than if, I'm just closed and I say no. I try to be a person who is always looking to hear why someone does something. What is their motivation for doing stuff? I'm an actor myself, so I've always learned about motivation, been taught motivation. What is a person's motivation for doing things? And I feel like a lot of people with issues, and I think I strike this every single day. I at least come to a situation where I see someone sort of say, how can you think this? How is it possible? And I actually today I had an occurrence of that, and I sort of told someone, put yourself in the other person's shoes, because people don't do that. People really don't. They don't put themselves in the other shoe, and they lose for that. They just don't see it. And once I feel like you do that, and once you say to yourself, okay, what is this person thinking? Going back to politics, even though I'm not a big fan of talking about it, if you're a Democrat, I think you need to put yourself in the shoes of a Republican. I spoke with someone recently, had a really good conversation, going back on gun control, but about gun control and why they believe, that the limits we already have are enough. And I learned a lot, and a lot of people, a lot of people on the right especially, that the left don't seem to understand is they feel can't think of the word. They feel vulnerable when they don't have a weapon to protect them. And while there is a false sense of paranoia that what if something does happen, I think it's something you should think about and sort of be like, okay, well, I see where they're coming from. We all want to be safe. We all want to feel safe. And for them, guns make them feel safe. So how can we figure out an alternative and a compromise? And that's what I'm getting to is sort of, by being able to listen, by having an open mind, we're better able to communicate and find answers to things. A lot of us, including me, I had an incident recently where I was screwing around with a friend and I just was locked on an issue. And we were both locked actually, and we just butted heads, and we never really found a clear solution, and got heated, and it just didn't really need to be. And it wasn't too heated, but it was just sort of something that was, really like it didn't need to be that way. And I thought about it after, and I was like, this didn't need to happen. If I had just sort of loosened up and sort of said, okay, where are they coming from? we could have found a solution and maybe avoided some of the awkwardness that went on after. So, you know, listening and being open-minded is such a key thing, and I really think that politicians, teachers, students my age alike, you know, should listen to it. And also, I think for open-mindedness, I was speaking recently to someone about just sort of an artist who had gotten in trouble recently, and I sort of asked them, hey, do you like this person? They say, no, I can't stand them because of this. And what happens is a lot of people, when they disagree with someone, even if that person has done something wrong, they tend to automatically close out any good points they might make. I've spoken to kids and I've been like, hey, you know, I know you don't like this person, but this, you know, they do have a point when they say this, and they'll be like, I still don't like them. I don't care, you know. And I think that's wrong. Even if you dislike someone, you should be able to find a way to listen to what they're saying and sort of say, okay, you know, while I don't agree with who you are as a person, I think that you do have a point here. And I feel like everyone out there, you know, it doesn't matter who you are, there is some good, you know, and there is something that I think we can agree on, you know, that someone has said or done. You know, Donald Trump, I think is a big one, you know, where it's sort of like, yeah, a lot of people don't like him, a lot of people dislike him, but on the 1% chance for many people who are liberal, you know, he might actually say something right, but yet we seem to close it out. We also need to look at the positives in things, you know? I feel like we tend to do that. When we're against something, we close our mind to it. It's just automatically negative. Okay, he's doing this. No, I'm not going to look at any of the positives. And we sort of, you know, don't take that and say, okay, well, you know, give him credit for this. We'd like him to work on this, but give him credit for this. And I think, you know, listening is a big thing. We need to be open to things instead of closing our mind out to differentiating ideas. So that's the video for today. It wasn't really a lot of goofy stuff. I'm going to try to add some little goofs and gaffs on the channel, because I'm all about that, you feel? But this was just more of a talk, a little test. I'm going to see how it goes, and when this comes out, eventually we'll see. So I'll catch you later. It's always a good time. Carson Hopkins, I'll catch you. Bye.